Welcome, dear Aries. I hope you are enjoying your birthday season. It is your solar return season, so I'm here to do your reading for your birthday. Now, this reading is going to be good for this solar return till next solar return. So from this birthday till next birthday. And if you're new to my channel, the way I typically do my birthday readings is that I combine the astrological wheel of the zodiac. So I include the 12 houses of the zodiac along with the tarot. So I combine the themes of the first through the 12th house with tarot. It'll make sense as I go along. I will explain it. I will show you the cards. And also at the end of your reading, since I have not shuffled yet, I will go ahead and take a picture of how the cards fell on the wheel, and it'll be the picture you see on the thumbnail. So if there's a picture up currently on the thumbnail, that is your reading. All right, lovely, lovely Aries. I hope you're doing fantastic. And if I haven't already said so, I am Elena Valdez. I think I did say my name. Anyhow, I have pre-shuffled the cards already. This reading is pretty much, you can keep coming back to it throughout the year because it will bring up, it is going to include topics that may already start coming up now, but will also continue to show up throughout the year. Also, on a side note, if you are interested in a solar return astrological reading, which is more specific to your natal chart, your placements, I will leave my website address, email address down below in case you're interested to book a reading. All right, lovelies, let's get started. It is very warm here where I am in Southern Cali. I think it's like 90 degrees in my unit right now, so it's very warm. Anyhow, let's get started with the first 6 houses here. I'm just going to lay the cards down, and if you're somebody who gets impatient during the shuffling, go ahead and move over or fast forward. I don't even know that that's actually a thing now to say. Does that like age me to say fast forward? I think it does. All right, let's lay the first card. Second, third, 4, 5, 6, and the upper horizon, dear spirit. So houses 1 through 6 in astrology are the lower horizon, and houses 7 through 12 are the upper horizon. All right, 1, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. And let's go to the next deck. All right, Spirit, lower horizon, 1 through 6, please, for Aries solar return 2022. How time flies. By the way, if you haven't already done so, there is another Aries birthday reading from last year. So there may be some themes in there that tie into this reading, so you may want to check it out. I'll try to plug it in here at the end of the reading. All right, upper horizon, dear spirit, for Aries solar return. And the cards are down. Okay, let me put this down here below. All right. And for those of you who are new to my channel, that squeaking in the background that you will hear occasionally is just my vent, and his name is Willie. He's my kitchen vent, and any slight wind he decides to go off, yes, I've named him. Yes, his name is Willie, and he is a part of all of my readings here. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's get started with house 1. Now, in astrology, house 1 is about our quite literally our physicality. It talks about what we're doing this solar return year. Remember, from this birthday to next birthday. So from this March, April till next March, April, it's going to talk about what you're planning to do with your body, like physically, if you're planning to move or what have you. The first house also talks about how other people see us, the impressions that we make on other people, as well as how we choose to defend ourselves. So for you, you got the 10 of Wands, and you got the Queen of Pentacles. So there's a feeling here of something potentially here in the recent past, dear Aries, put you in a state of burden, put you in a state of overwhelmment or over like, I'm over this BS, I'm done. And so physically, the way you're going to choose to get along, if you will, is going to be all about peace right now. So for this solar return year, dear Aries, there's a feeling here with the Queen of Pentacles of, I just want to be at peace. I just want to get all my ducks in a row. I just want to pay my bills on time, make the right investments, because Queen of Pentacles is all about the tangible. It's all about, the money, the bag, all of that good stuff, right? But this is beyond that, because remember, it fell in the first house. So we're incorporating the themes of the tarot into the houses of the zodiac, right? So if this fell in your first house, what it tells me is that physically you have felt the Ten of Wands energy more recently here. Okay. And physically, it also means, though, that you are more willing this coming year to carry the load of a heavier burden if it means bringing you more financial stability. So this is twofold. I'm going to explain both scenarios here. The first scenario that I'm getting here, dear Aries, is that there's a sense for you this year that you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to work hard. You're going to carry the load. You're going to allow yourself to be burdened. This could be through your work. It can be a relationship. It can be your investments. It can be whatever it is for you, right? But the reason for that, the reason you are willing to work hard, the reason you're willing to take on the burdens or obligations I'm hearing, is because at the end of it, you know that it will result in you physically embodying the Queen of Pentacles. And that's quite literally what I see for you here, Aries, for this coming year. It would be interesting to know, for those of you who have access to your solar return charts, it would be interesting to know what your ascendant for this coming year will be, because that'll tell you a lot about the agenda of the solar return year. And again, if you want to find that out, I can easily do the reading for you if you'd like me to. But anyhow, your natural tendency is very wands, right? Because you're fire. But this year, there's something that's going to be grounding you. And a part of that is because you have already endured a sort of burden, but it's the opposite kind of burden that you'll be taking on. It's almost like you've been carrying a load of something, and this year you're like, I'm done with that load. I'm putting that load down. I'm willing to carry this other one, because at the end of this year, I'm going to end up with peace, increased finances, a better home, a better lifestyle. I'm going to be better, well taken care of. I'm going to take care of myself, because the Queen of Pentacles is very similar to the Empress, right? Now, Empress is a little higher octave in terms of spiritual realm, or not that any queen or any card is better than the other, but there's a different level there, right? But the Queen of Pentacles still is very similar to the Empress. And the Empress is all about taking care of self, high extreme self-care. So this year, Aries, it looks like you're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to take care of yourself. Ten of Wands can also be, by the way, for those of you who are starting to work out something, because remember, where it's the first house, right? So many of you are taking on new workout routines. Like there's like a new hobby, a new physical body that you're going to take on, and you're going to take it on with pleasure, because at the end of it, it's, again, you're embodying this. What a beautiful way to start your reading, Aries. It is actually an amazing way to start your reading. I'm loving it already. Okay, let's move on to the second house. The second house is about your finances, the resources that you accumulate and acquire. So it's what you save, like your investments, your jewelry, your artwork, your savings account, all of that. But it's also what you acquire. So like the real estate that you acquire. And it's also more importantly than that, it's your self-worth. It's how you see yourself. It's how you value yourself. It also can talk about how the potential, what you can make, because it's related to what you can make financially in terms of salary and whatnot, or the services, what you charge for your services, because it's connected to how you feel about yourself, right? The self-worth. For you this coming year, you've got the Ten of Coins. Beautiful. That's high octave. 10 of coins is, you got 2 coins already and we just got started. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long reading. We're already almost at 10 minutes, so I apologize if this stretches beyond. Anyway, you can pause it and come back. Okay, you can handle that, Aries. You can handle anything. Okay, 10 of coins. So 10 of coins in the second house of resources is amazing because the 10 of coins is everything you need is taken care of. Everything your family needs is taken care of. Whatever you need for your home is taken care of. Whatever you need to adorn yourself is taken care of. Whatever you need to drive yourself is taken care of. Whatever you need to show your loved ones that you love them in a tangible way is taken care of. And the way you're being valued by others is high octave here. So others are also valuing your worth and they're showing you tangibly, right? Like, don't tell me, show me is this energy, and you're going to be getting it this year. And it's paired with the 6 of Swords. So the reason, this is actually very important for you to hear right now, the reason this is able to happen is because you are willing to move into completely new territory that you're not used to, that's new to you. You're learning new skills. You're learning new things, new environments, new cultures. For some of you, this could be about moving away somewhere. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's a new group of people, but you're moving towards something that is opening the doors for greater finances, more abundance. And it's also opening the door for you to meet others who actually value you in a way that maybe you haven't been valued in a while, dear Aries. This can also talk about moving away from people and things, situations, and employers and businesses and neighborhoods that do not serve you. Okay, once you do that, either move towards new environments or move away from, is when this starts coming in. And it looks very promising this year for you, Aries. So bravo to, all of you. And I think for them, it would be bravi. Is it? So bravo is male, brava is female. And I think I just made this up. For any of you who are them, I think it's bravi, or I may have just made that up. I don't know. I haven't studied Italian in a while. All right, so now we're moving into the 3rd house. And the 3rd house is all communication. It's how we communicate with others. It is also how we market ourselves. It's our social media. It's driving. It's short trips. It's learning things like new skill sets, like the 101s of something, not the mastership of education, but more like the ABCs of something, right? So you got strength and you got the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like the universe, Aries, you're making big changes. I see it like these are huge changes already smack out of the gate. And I can tell you energetically, I can feel that too. I can feel this shift. But this is what's happening here with your 3rd house. Because your 3rd house is also about the everyday people that you hang out with. So that can be your neighbors, that can be your siblings, that can be the people you work with, the barista that you see at the coffee house every morning when you get your coffee, like the everyday going-ons, right? It's the people who get you to communicate and talk and chit chat, right? Because remember, it's the house of communication. It's the house of travel. It's the house of transporting information is basically what the 3rd house is. When you get the Wheel of Fortune in the 3rd house, it's like the universe is taking you and moving the dial of your fate or the destiny. It's like you've accomplished something, and it makes sense with 2 10s out of the gate. It's like you're closing out chapters, right? You're moving into this new terrain. And so it's like the universe with the Wheel of Fortune is saying, all right, we're done with this work. We're done with this chapter of your life. I'm going to now take you and I'm going to turn your wheel of fate, and I'm going to move you towards this new environment, because remember, we're tying it to the 3rd house. I'm going to move you to a new neighborhood. I'm going to move you into a new job. I'm going to move you into a whole new situation that's going to essentially change your world, like literally. And also this could be traveling new environments. Like a lot of you are going to be traveling quite a bit. I happen to know a couple of Aries, myself included. I will be driving a lot this year. I will be traveling a lot this year. And the Wheel of Fortune is doing just that, right? Like it's moving you, moving your perspective, moving your direction, and now you're going a different terrain. Beautifully enough, though, it's paired with the Strength card. So this tells me that whatever this shift is going to bring you into the limelight. It's almost like the universe is saying, all right, you've kept behind closed doors for a while. Now I want you to show the world what you're made of. Like now I want you to show off your skills, dear Aries. Now I want people to make room for you to shine. This could be also in social media. So some of you could be having an increase in social media presence, marketing, whatever it is that you do out there in the world. It could be writing. It can be, because the third house also rules writing. It could be new friendships that allow you to be yourself, right? And these are the friendships. I mean, the 11th house rules most friendships, but so does the third house in a different way, more like familial kind of relationships. Okay, let's move on. And by the way, I'll come back and I'll kind of zigzag everything and tie everything in for you. Fourth house. The fourth house is about our ancestry. It's our deepest rooted desires, wishes. It is quite literally the home that we live in. It can also speak about like the people that live with us in our home in some cases. It can talk about your parents. Mostly it talks about the nurturing parents. So many times it's about the mother, but not always. It can also incorporate and include your father if you grew up in that kind of household, right? We're all different. Some of us have two moms, two dads, a dad, a mom, etc. One mom, one dad. So whomever your nurturing parent was, sometimes we can gather information about that person in the fourth house. Now, for you, you got the Seven of Wands and you got the Empress. Okay. Wow. Whew. And we were just talking about the Empress. Remember, like we were talking about the Queen of Pentacles being very similar. And this is a lot of confirmation about so much. Yeah. So basically what I'm feeling here, dear Aries, you're going to be doing a lot in the world this year. It's like you're not, and by the way, when I look this direction, it's just the window is there and it's pretty and it helps me think. But you're going to be so busy, Aries, that when you get home, your home is going to become the place, like literally it's going to be a boundary ground, right? Because the Seven of Wands is about creating a boundary. It's like you're creating barriers, protection. It's like everyone stay the F out, right? And that's exactly what she's doing here. You see how she's like, this is as far as you get to come in. This is, you don't get to come in any further, right? Like this is it. And it totally resonates from what I've been hearing with other Aries experiences. It's like there's this need to just, you're going to be out working in the world. You're going to be doing what you're going to do. And when you get home, you're going to be like, no one is allowed. This is my space. I'm going to be the Empress in this space. I'm going to nurture myself, nourish myself, take care of myself in this space that no one else is allowed to come in. So you may feel an energy of everyone keep the F out. I give you all of me when I'm out in the world. I give you all of me when I'm at work. I give you all of me when I'm at dinner with my friends. But when I'm home, like literally, this is what she's doing in the card, right? Like stay away. Why? Because I'm taking care of myself. That's what the Empress is. The Empress is, I regard myself. I value myself. I am going to take care of me. However, I need to take care of me in the comfort of my home, because remember, we're talking about the fourth house. In the comfort of my home with the closest people that love me, whether that's family, my mother. Also, for some of you, Aries, this could quite literally be you becoming a parent. And I say parent because it doesn't have to be just, you know, female. It could be male, male, female here, but there's an energy here. And remember, fourth house is ancestry, it's legacy, you know, even though the fifth house speaks about children, but our fourth house does speak about motherhood. So, or can potentially speak of that. So for some of you, there is probably potentially or your partner may be having a child and you're like, stay away from my partner. Everyone stay away from the belly. I'm taking care of the baby. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're creating this energy of I'm protecting me and mine. But there's a reason for that, Aries. You wouldn't have gotten to this point of everyone stay the F out if something or someone hadn't pushed you to the point of enough is enough. I'm done. I'm done living for others. And it could just be that your 9 to 5 is that way, right? Like you're living for others at work, your business, whatever it is you do out in the world. So by the time you get home, but this tells me, it again confirms that this is a big year for you. Whatever you're doing in the world is huge. This is an opportunity this year to make a lot happen. Okay, let's move on to the fifth house. The fifth house is my favorite house. Actually, it's a lot of people's favorite house. It's originally ruled by Leo and the traditional wheel. And like Leo, it has a lot of that energy, which is like the vibrancy of leisure, fun, and creativity lives in the fifth house. Our children or themes of our children live in the fifth house. For some people, our pets live in the fifth house. For others, it's the sixth. Traditionally, pets live in the sixth house. But nowadays, sometimes pets live in the fifth house because for many people, they are like their children. So they treat them as so, right? Now, Willie just agreed or disagreed. I don't know. You probably heard him squeak. But anyhow, so fifth house can also talk about romance. It can talk about creativity. It can talk about the things that make you shine, basically. And for this year, dear Aries, you got the Four of Wands. Very nice with the Page of Cups. So some of you, there's a potential here because remember, it's romance, creativity, leisure. For some of you, you could potentially be having, for those of you who are here, who are pregnant or expecting a child, you could potentially be having a water sign baby with this Page of Cups. And maybe furthering your relationship into marriage because that's the Four of Wands is a higher level commitment. I mean, you can see that's like marriage there. But for those of you that does not apply, for those of you who are not pregos or whose partner is not pregnant, it can be a new relationship, potentially with a water sign, potentially younger, because this is a page. So it can be someone who is younger than you, a tad. Well, I can't say how much younger, right? Like it doesn't tell me how much younger. It could be a year younger, 2 years, 10 years. I don't know. But this could be a water sign, dear Aries, that you are hooking up with here that can have, that can potentially lead to something solid, some kind of commitment here with the Four of Wands. It can also be some rooted commitment and creativity because remember, this is also creativity. And the Page of Cups is very heart-centered. It's very much I just got, for some of you, you might be writing children's books. You might be creating something for children. You might be creating something for young adolescents, like YA books or whatever. And it's grounded and rooted in commitment. But I'm feeling more so in the romance for you, dear Aries. And I know that Aries has had a hell of a 2 to 3 years when it comes to romance. Like, a lot of Aries have had it rough. A lot of Aries I know are like tired. Like, I am done with dating and love. Like, that's like the sense. So it would be nice, right, to have some kind of shift there this year in that area of our lives. Okay, let's move on to the sixth house. The sixth house is our work environment. It's not our career per se, but it's like our day-to-day work, what we do for work. It's also our nutrition, our health. Actually, the second and the sixth house are both nutrition, depending. The sixth house also talks about our routines, like the day-to-day. This is why our job lives in the sixth house, not so much because of the job, but because it becomes a routine that we do every day and we have like set hours and yada, yada, right? It can also talk about ways of healing or how to heal ourselves when we're sick. but this is more astrology based on your natal, not so much what we're doing here today. Okay, you got the Three of Swords and the Chariot. I'm laughing because like it's resonating on so many levels. The Three of Swords is a bit of a heartbreak here. Something about your routine. Maybe you're giving up something. Maybe you're giving up a way of being that you're bemoaning. Maybe you're giving up working from home. I know some people are going through it. Some Aries are going through that right now. So maybe you are going back into the office and it's interrupting your routine, or maybe you've had some kind of, there's something here to be. Remember, nutrition, health also lives in the 6th house. So it can potentially be that there's something that you're shifting into, that you're bemoaning. I don't feel, this doesn't feel bad to me, especially because it came out from this deck and not the other deck. If it would have come out of this deck here, the Three of Swords, we would be having a different conversation. But because it came out from this deck, this just feels more like a disappointment to me. It feels more like there's a shift you have to make either in your health, your nutrition. Maybe you could potentially experience a little bit of illness, nothing crazy here. We're not talking tower moments, death moments, nothing like that. This is just a little disappointment. But more than that, what I am feeling, especially with the Chariot here, because the Chariot is combined here with the Three of Swords in the 6th house of work and routine, you're moving away from something that you were very comfortable in. So that can be moving away from a home that you loved. It can be moving away from a workspace that you love. Like some of you were working from home. The Chariot can also symbolize Cancer energy, and Cancer energy does symbolize the home. So a lot of you may be traveling a lot this year, not spending a lot of time at home, and it's disrupting your routine. Again, the 6th house, health, routine, work, all of that. So there's a shift in your day-to-day that's a little bumming you out a little bit, Aries, that you're kind of like, I'm not going to get to, work from home anymore, or, whatever it is for you. It's going to be different for everyone. Please, by the way, tell me in the comments what it is for you. Okay, so let's move on to the 7th house. The 7th house is the house of relationships. It's also the house of divorce. And the reason both relationships and divorce live in the 7th house is because at the end of the day, the 7th house rules contracts, whether verbal or written. And so contracts, relationships usually have a contractual element to it, right? Sometimes, whether you verbally agree, hi, do you want to be my girlfriend, my boyfriend? Great, we have an agreement, we're in partnership. You want to get married? Yes, we signed the papers. You want to get divorced? Yes, we signed the papers. So that's 7th house energy. It can also represent legal issues, or, that kind of energy, because it is originally ruled by Libra. Now you got the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Swords. So there could be a situation here in a relationship that is making you feel a little bound, maybe healing. What I'm hearing is a lot of your healing from something this year, right? There's something that made you feel bound, right? With the 8 of Swords, there's something that made you feel stuck, potentially a relationship here in the recent past. There could have been, but remember, you have new potential of love here, right? For those that applies in the 5th house. But the 7th house is more about stable relationships. So you could be, at the same time that this new potential comes in, you could also be mourning, grieving another relationship, a loss, a divorce, a separation. And it's got you in this healing space. What I love about this card, the 4 of Swords, from this deck, is that it illustrates so beautifully exactly what this card is about, which she is in her little nest, cocooning herself, self-soothing herself, self-regulating through this heartbreak. And she's resting and she's taking care of herself. So I think this is also Spirit's way, dear Aries, of reminding you, if you've gone through a heartbreak and you have not yet processed it, allow yourself to go through the grieving stages. Allow yourself to heal, because a lot of you have gone through it or are going through it right now. And so Spirit is saying, love yourself, adore yourself. Live, remember, do this fourth house energy of, that could be why you have this energy of everyone stay the F out, because you've been hurt and you just have the energy to just take care of yourself, right? It could be why this is happening. This is spirit reminding you, like, just for those of you who are dealing with a legal issue, you could be in your head about it, like really nervous, like, oh my God, because the Eight of Swords is really more mental energy. Remember, it's not that your feelings are not valid here, dear Aries, is that just remember, it could be more you worrying about it than the actuality of this coming true. Okay, or like if you think there's a potential of lawsuits, that kind of thing. But I'm feeling more relationship here. I'm feeling more, you just need to heal. Spirit, universe is saying, give yourself permission to heal. Because here's the thing, Aries. You have a lot of beautiful stuff happening, and you also have pain happening at the same time, right? And you're also moving away from creature comforts here, right? You're moving away from something that used to soothe you with your routine, your environment. And so it looks like the biggest safe haven you have here is your home, wherever you're going to be living, and this new potential relationship coming, right? And then also this new, whatever this fate turning for you is, and it's going to help you shine your light and really come out. So you're going to be busy. So while you're out in the world being busy, being bigger than life, being introduced to new people, learning new skills, meeting new people, building your financial security, you're also grieving. So make sure, this is a reminder and advice from Spirit, make sure that you are taking the time to grieve, because that's the only way to heal, right? Is grieving, self-soothing, keeping the noise out, that kind of thing. All right, let's move on to the 8th house. The 8th house is our shared resources with others. So the money we receive from others is also a very deep psychological house. So this is where we get a lot of, a lot of deep stuff lives here. Sexuality lives here, but not because of the sake of sex, like the way it lives in the 5th house, but more because of the transcendence that it can have, like the spiritual side of it, the more psychological, deep merging of the sexual relations. That's 8th house energy. It's also the house of like other mundane things like taxes, IRS stuff, loans, inheritance. All of that lives in the 8th house. So it's quite a heavy house, right? Like it kind of goes like kind of wide there. So for you here in the this solar return year, you got the Hanged Man, which also represents Pisces. And you got the Hierophant, which represents Taurus. So those signs may or may not mean something to you. Now, the Hierophant can also indicate some higher authority, okay? It can also, not always, because the Hierophant does, in the traditional tarot, it used to represent the Pope, right? So it had the significance, or it has a significance of like someone in authority, spiritual authority with higher knowledge, that kind of thing. So this could be a couple of things here, dear Aries. Number one, it can be Spirit saying this is a great year to find a new therapist, because remember, we're talking about the 8th house. The 8th house is about psychology, deep-rooted stuff, potentially coming to the surface this year. So the Hierophant could be a little nudge here from Spirit saying it's time to get a therapist, a counselor, a spiritual advisor, whatever it is for you, whatever it is you believe in, right? This is not a dogmatic type of religious kind of reading. It can, for some of you, represent a religious leader, right? For those of you who believe in religion. Now, it's also paired with the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is originally associated with Pisces. Pisces does have a lot of that spiritual element to it. So a couple of things. It's about going inward, surrendering, meditating, really finding your center connection to your own spirituality, or finding someone to help you with that deep psychological, spiritual, whatever it is for you. Okay. There's a feeling here that this is a time. This is a time. I'm usually with the 8th house. There could be an element there of resources, shared resources with others, money intertwined with others. But this is not what I'm feeling here. I don't feel that the emphasis is on that. I'm not saying that you're not going to have shared resources with anyone this year. I'm just saying that's not the emphasis of this reading as we're talking about the 8th house. I feel from the cards, the way they're coming up, that this is more Spirit saying this is a great year for you, Aries, to go deep in your psychology work. This is a great year to really surrender inward and find, the compassion, that Hanged Man Piscean energy of inner compassion, self-love, self-compassion, self-care. There's a lot of that in here with this, and then even the Shining and the Queen of Pentacles, and moving away from things that don't serve you or moving towards things that serve you. There's a big emphasis. You're healing from something, but you're also having breakthroughs, because the Hanged Man is, you see how she is, and this is not gender specific read, but she is hanging upside down, which is granting her access to new perspective through the crown chakra, you see, which is a very spiritual card. And so, how do we access a new perspective? Well, we have to sort of turn our judgments around, right? That which we thought to be true, sometimes we have to surrender and let them go and trust higher knowing to guide us. So there's something, it's almost like you're going through a big shift internally and externally at the same time. And it's almost like they don't match. It's almost like externally out in the world, you're going to be this, like, whatever you're going to be doing. You're going to be like in control. You're going to be the Queen of Pentacles. You're going to be the Strength card. You're going to be like leading potentially. But behind closed doors, you're going to be self-soothing. You're going to be healing. You're going to be going through some breakthroughs. You're going to be going through some potentially spiritual breakthroughs here that can maybe feel heavy. And it doesn't feel like dark night of the soul. That's not what it feels like. Because, we've all gone through that, right? The dark night of the soul where, oh my God, we are on our knees. And even if we don't believe in praying, we're praying, right? This is different. This is breakthroughs that really help us get clear about who we are, and it makes us feel protected and loved and sanctioned and sacred by that which we hold divine. So it's very beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the 9th house. The 9th house, oh my God, this reading is going so long, I apologize. The 9th house is all about things foreign, higher learning, higher education, foreign lands, traveling to foreign lands. It's about learning foreign languages as well, and learning higher levels of whatever it is you're learning. Mastership, it's also about teaching. Whatever we learn in the 3rd house, we go to the 9th house and we teach. And you have a lot. Okay, so you've got the Star. Beautiful, because this is about having been healed. This is about going through a journey, healing from it. And now we're teaching it here in the 9th house. But you also have the 8 of Swords, right? So this is very cool. And I'll tell you why. You got the 8 of Swords here from this deck. You got it in the 7th house of relationship. You're healing. You're using that 7th house energy. You're taking it to the 8th house here. You're finding a breakthrough internally that's helping you break spiritually, right? Then you're going to the 9th house, which is about higher spirituality, higher learning, mastership, all of that. And you take that, you're taking that 8 of Swords and you're converting it to the Star. Very similar energies in the sense of healing. There's a repetition here, a repetitive pattern on healing. The 4 of Swords is about healing. The Hanged Man is about taking a perspective and healing it, taking one way of thinking and healing it. The Star, though, is higher octave healing. The Star is when we get to that moment of full surrender, full acceptance, and we've not only healed, but we have learned from it so much that we can embody the healing and we can help others because we have accessed that healing for ourselves. I hope that makes sense. And what helped you access is it's something to do with your relationship here, or past relationships that you moved into the experience into the 9th house. So I feel like you're going to be teaching something about this heartbreak or this whatever this letdown is, can be legalities. Remember, we talked earlier, it could be legalities, it could be separation, it could be divorce, whatever it is. I feel like you're taking it here in the ninth house in doing something with that, or teaching others by example through your healing process. Because remember, you have that thing going on with the Hierophant, the Hangman. So you're going through, it's almost like you're transforming, you're taking this pain and you're transmuting it into something so much bigger than yourself. I know that sounds a little like, what is she talking about? But that's what I'm picking up here. I'm picking up like you're transmuting a pain and you're making it bigger than yourself, and it's going to help somehow. It might just be one other person. It might be a group of people. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so then we move on to the 10th house. The 10th house is our social standing in life. It's what we're known for out in the world. It's how people see us. Sometimes the 10th house can represent when we get married or when we get divorced, not because marriage or divorce lives in the 10th house, but because marriage and divorce can sometimes change our social status, right? Our social standing in life, the way people view us in life. It can have a shift. So sometimes we can see themes of marriage, divorce in the 10th house. But more than that, and more often, we can look at themes of career as well as social standing, but not always at the same time. In other words, you can be known for something out in public socially, but it doesn't mean that's your career that you're known for. Like you could be known for being an advocate for the homeless, like widely by people, but you might be an accountant at work, right? So two different things. Or for those of you who are lucky enough to be vibing, doing what you're known for and your career and your work at the same time, it can encompass all of it, which kudos to you if you're one of those people that you're able to cohesively bring everything together. Anyhow, you in the 10th house of work, social standing, potentially career, you got the 6 of Swords again, and the 10 of Cups. Woo! You got the 6 of Swords here, remember, but in a different deck. And that was resources. Remember, it was in your resources. Now, in your career, potentially you get it again. So this is I just heard something. This is confirming that in order for you to be happy, because you got the 10 of Cups in your 10th house, in order for you to be happy in social standing, at work, in your career, and also here with your money, gathering your money, earning your money, there's something that you need to walk away from or walk towards. Some of you are walking into new jobs because the 10th house can represent career, work, social standing. Remember, I know I keep repeating myself. Some of you are walking into a new experience. Some of you, this new experience, for some of you could be meeting love at work. You could be moving into a situation where you actually meet someone at work that brings some emotional fulfillment. Or on a different trajectory here, you could be moving into something, whether career-wise, work, social standing, that's bringing you so much fulfillment and joy. However, the 10 of Cups in this card is very romantic. I mean, look at that. That's like, and what I love about this one is that there are 2 women, right? This is 2 women. See, you got the little rainbow there. I love it. I love this 10 of Cups in this deck. So some of you might be, meeting someone at the workplace or in your career. This can also be a unification of family, and it can also be marriage. Remember, I said sometimes the 10th house can talk about marriage and divorce because social standing. But in any case, 6 Swords coming up twice, it's like you're walking into something completely new in the areas of making money and career because they're attached, right? They're very similar. You got, how many 10s did you get? You have the 10 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins, very similar energy, and it's compatible in the compatible houses, meaning the house of money with the house of career and social standing. So this grieving and this mourning and this healing, dear Aries, is going to be so important for you to find this fulfillment, this emotional fulfillment that is very clearly on the way to you, or that you are very clearly on the way to. So that can only happen when we're healed, right? All right. Let's move on to the 11th house. The 11th house is friendships, new networks. It can represent wishes that we put out, our intentions that we put out into the world. But mostly it can also represent, you know, things that we do online, people we meet online, like the networks, like online dating, that kind of thing, our friendships or friends or acquaintances, that kind of thing. And you got the Daughter of Swords. And you got the Seven of Cups. So this is about having a lot of options, a lot to choose from, and a lot of communication, because remember, Swords is communication, and the 11th house is about communicating via internet, via online. This could be networks. This can be socializing online. This can be your whatever social media platforms you belong to, the Facebooks, the whatevers, the TikToks, you know. It can also be you communicating with new friends, new love online, and having a lot to choose from. So sometimes when the Seven of Cups comes up, it is a little bit of a heads up, but just make sure you're not getting too distracted, that you're not getting too rocked with too many options and too many things. Like, make sure you're keeping grounded as you're meeting new people, you're gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a lot of acquaintances. So this is about having a lot of options, okay, in the area of friendships, acquaintances, and all of that. So just making sure to stay grounded, because you will be doing a lot this year, Aries. There's a lot ahead of you here. So I hope you're resting up and getting ready for it. And we end with the 12th house. The 12th house closes the wheel. It's the 12th house is all about the behind the scenes. It talks about our images that come to us at night when we sleep. It talks about our dream state. It talks about meditation. It talks about other deep-rooted psychological work that we do. It's naturally ruled by by Pisces. So there's a opportunity in the 12th house for creative, for fantastico, for imagination, all of that good, yummy stuff. And you have the Nine of Wands, and you have the Son of Wands. There is something here that you are finishing up in the 12th house. It could be some creative. It can be something that you're doing in secret, because the 12th house can be about, you know, keeping it behind closed doors. There's some final determination here with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is like that final push. And the Son of Wands is like that you see how she has that last little bit of energy there to push her through something. And the Son of Wands is that light that she's holding. Look how similar that is. And they're two different decks. This is a confirmation that if you do have something you've been working on behind the scenes, something creative, it can be something you're writing, it can be something you're creating, something unique, something different, something that you're dreaming up. Keep working on it, Aries. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. If you're tired right now, if you're in this place of I'm fucking exhausted, nothing's coming of this, find the Son of Wands within you. The Son of Wands meaning find, even if it's that little inspiration, like maybe you started off so inspired on this project and you're so tired that you're like, I'm done. This is about finding that spark, whatever it takes. Go back to the beginning of what it felt like to begin this project. Whatever you can access, whatever inspiration you can access, this is Spirit saying, find it. Don't give up. I put this, Spirit is saying, I put this in your heart and soul for a reason. Finish it. Don't give up. Even if it takes longer, don't give up. Find the Son of Wands, finish it up. All right, dear Aries, that is your reading. It was not agenda. This is an intense reading. All right, my loves. I hope it was helpful. Remember to keep coming back to it, and happy birthday. Please remember to subscribe, like. Don't just come over here watching Looky Loo and not subscribe. Come on. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. All right. Goodbye. Happy birthday, my lovely Aries, and I'll see you soon. Bye.